A very good evening to all of viewers to another episode of Fitness Fanatics. Now, we typically have a live workout session that we do during Fitness Fanatics, but whenever we have special guests on the show, we tend to make exceptions. And today's guest is Supriya Sharma. I use the word special, but I think even the word special is an understatement when it comes to describing Supriya. Supriya, how are you doing? Welcome to the show.
I am very well. Thank you, Anubhav. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's good to see you again. I think the first time I saw you was this was February or March of 2018 in Delhi, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Lovely. Look, Supriya, look, you have a fascinating story. Okay. And I definitely want to touch upon all the elements, all the components of that story. I am pretty sure that you've actually related your story a million times, but you probably never get bored of relating it because of how captivating the story is. And I'm pretty sure even if viewers have actually heard the story in the past, they never get tired of listening to it only because of how enthralling the story is.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So look, I was doing a bit of research, just so that I could do justice to this conversation. You are originally from Jammu and Kashmir, right? Then moved over
Right.
to New Delhi in 2012.
Right.
You took an entrance exam to get into JNU. You placed first in the entrance exam. You got the only seat available in Chinese foreign policy at JNU. And then you went on to captain the handball team and then did wonders, won so many accolades for yourself in weightlifting, bodybuilding. So walk me through all of this. I have all the different pieces in mind, but help me connect all the different pieces. And then we can touch upon each
Um,
piece individually as well.
so 2012 was not when I went to JNU. 2012 was when I went to Delhi University to do my bachelor's.
Okay.
And 2012 to 2015 was my bachelor's in political science honors from Jesus and Mary College. Then I moved on to Jamia Millia. So I have done all the three universities in Delhi. Then I went to Jamia Millia Islamia for my master's in peace and conflict studies, which was from 2015 to 2017. 2017 to 18, I continued working. I was at the think tank, which is by the Ministry of External Affairs. And I also joined another think tank after that, which was the Observer Research Foundation. During my bachelor's, I was working with the Embassy of Mexico, and I was always like interning here and there. 2017 to 18 was a drop year because JNU did not come out with any entrances, so I couldn't, go anywhere. So it kind of was a drop year, and then
But their loss, not
2018.
yours. Their loss, not
I
yours,
mean,
right?
okay. So 2018, then I appeared for the entrance, and things happened just as you explained. JNU one seat, so it was very difficult. For me to be, for me to digest that it's my seat. But
Yeah,
again,
yeah.
I did it. So yeah,
No, you absolutely
that's
did
how
it.
it was.
It was your seat. You completely owned the seat. And what I can tell, based upon everything that you've described about your academic background, it's not just about brawn, it's a lot of brain as well. So you're like a perfect combination of brain and brawn, yeah?
Oh, again, thank you for that compliment. So yeah, so 2018 when I cracked JNU was in July, and my first bikini competition was in May of that year. That was my first competition. I participated in an international competition in Atlanta, and I won that as well. And then JNU happened, so it was a pretty good year, 2018.
Absolutely. And I definitely want to touch upon that competition in further detail because I believe you became the youngest Indian to win a gold in your category, which was the overall bikini category, right? At this
Right, right.
bikini bodybuilding championship that took place in Atlanta, Georgia, May 2018. You were 23 years of age. Look, when I was 23, I
Yeah.
was smoking and drinking all sorts of substances. So I can't imagine, how can kids at the age of 23 be that focused? I wish, someone had hammered some wisdom into me when I was 23.
I have never actually got into drugs or drinking ever. And this was not because I was into fitness, but my conscience kind of never allowed me because I moved to Delhi in 2012. I was away from my parents. I could have done anything. But there was
Uh,
always this thing in my mind that my parents are investing a lot of money in me. If I'm in Delhi,
right.
there's a lot of expenditure. So and my conscience never allowed me to cheat my parents, basically. So that's how it was. And then
You're
there was always this fear, that if I don't crack the entrances, so for a woman, it's like शादी करा देंगे, BA हो गई है, इसके बाद नहीं पढ़ोगे, शादी हो जाएगी. I think because of that fear also, I think I continued performing well in my academics.
I could feel my guilty conscience pricking me when you said I was never into drugs and alcohol. You're making me seem like a drug addict and an alcohol addict.
No, no,
of
no, no.
you,
I'm sure
but
you
I'm
didn't
proud.
do all of that.
Oh,
Also, you
I'd
were
be
in a
lying.
country where a lot of things were legal.
No, no, no. I mean, I was in Atlanta. In the
Exactly.
U.S., of course, you have different state laws, right? Atlanta, Georgia, being in the
Exactly.
Southern Belt,
Exactly.
it's a more
Hmm.
conservative state, and so things were not legal. But of course, we oftentimes
You could
blurred the
always go to
line.
another state.
I did those things in Atlanta, but at the same time, I'm very happy about the fact that that was the former me. I've definitely shifted to a new chapter in my life, and I'm much happier about myself now than I was back in college.
It
So
it feels like I am taking your interview.
no, look, it's
And
that's
vice
the beauty
versa.
of this. That's the beauty of this. This is supposed to be a conversation, and in
Right.
fact, a lot of guests
Absolutely.
come on. A lot of guests come on, and they feel as if it's going to be like a structured interview where I'm the
Right.
interviewer, you're the interviewee. But I think this is supposed to be a
Right.
very organic, one-on-one conversation. You can ask me any questions, you can call me out, and I'll do the same as well.
No, I know a lot of secrets about you now.
But you
You
never,
kind
you
of
never came to my.
disclose them very, very publicly.
I think all the viewers know that, based upon how I spill the beans on all the shows. But you never came to my house party, so I'm actually very disappointed about that in Delhi when I was having a housewarming.
I think I must be having some competition because of which I couldn't come because then there would have been a lot of alcohol and I just didn't touch it.
I hope that's the reason. I hope
But it's
you
due.
just
I
didn't
mean, it's
ignore me.
due.
Absolutely, absolutely. Next time you're in Calcutta, party on me. Treat my treat to you. Or next time I'm in Delhi, then you can also get me some rolls
Absolutely.
or something. The food in Delhi is beautiful. I miss the food in Delhi actually. That's the thing I miss the most ever since having moved back to Calcutta from Delhi.
Absolutely. You're most welcome.
Right. Lovely. So look, you've always been involved in athletics, right? You've always been an athletic person.
Yeah.
You also captained the handball team when you were in college.
Hmm.
I think this was in Jammu and Kashmir as well as in Delhi, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bodybuilding. Where did that begin? Because look, a lot of people take up fitness, right? But to move from fitness as maybe a hobbyist, as something you do as a hobby,
Yeah.
right, to take it to the next level where you're competing professionally. So when did
Hmm.
that shift happen? That's always something I'm very interested to know whenever I'm interviewing people who are professionals in the fitness arena.
Exactly. So when I moved to Delhi in 2012, and wherever my college was located, I could not really travel to that stadium where so I was a handball player, just as you said. So I couldn't really move uh, to that stadium every day because it was about 4 or 5 hours away from my location, and I had to
Hmm.
change a couple of buses to reach there, and to do it in a cab was something that I was not very familiar with. I was 18, 17, struggling, trying to settle in a new city. But uh, what happened was that I couldn't be without fitness, and that's how I joined a gym. And at that time, because I was a handball player and I was supposed to have, I mean, my sport didn't require me to be lean. It required me to be, have a jart personality where I
Right,
was supposed
right.
to have a bulky body because I was supposed to, throw a couple of girls here and there during the match. So I used to hog on to at least like 3 cheese-burst pizzas in a week, and I was not guilty about it. But I was like this healthy, cute girl. But I mean, I realized that this I'm not going on the right track, and that's when I joined the gym because I wanted to continue my fitness, and my college was going to be over in 2015, and I wanted to continue some form of sport, and I started my gym. My brother had just won his competition, which was like Mr. Delhi. He was working in an MNC, and simultaneously he competed, and he won Mr. Delhi bodybuilding, and I think he really motivated me to take this up. But
Oh,
it was
wow.
never for me to take. I never started working out because I wanted to do a competition. I was just too much into it. So I would work out like 3 times in a day, like go to the gym in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. I was just going crazy about it. I was really, really enjoying lifting weights. And then somebody in my gym kind of pointed me out and said that you don't really lift like a normal woman. Why don't you take this up professionally? And
Yep.
I just didn't know what he was talking about. I was like, "What? What's that?" He was like, "There are competitions. You're supposed to compete, and this and that. There are categories, blah blah blah." And for me to take a competition like that in India, where I would be in a bikini on the stage, I was not quite ready for it because I had seen a couple of competitions. I like did my field research, and I
Hmm.
would see men not really respecting those women on the stage who were competing. So I told that guy, he became my coach, and he was also into competing. I told him that, I would want to take this at a bigger level. So since I stay in US half a year, I would probably take it in US and then see how it goes, because I feel that it's going
Right.
to be more professional there. And I would also want it to be on a bigger stage, and maybe after that, I would have the confidence to, wear a bikini on stage in India and everything. And that's how I got into bodybuilding, and that's how I competed and won it. And then it kind of became an addiction, and then I did another two, three competitions. But as a bikini athlete, you're supposed to be on a very, very strict regime throughout the year. So I cannot be
Hmm.
eating just anything. I have to stick to a diet all year, unlike the bodybuilders. They can, they go high on carbs, this and that. But as a bikini athlete, since you're supposed to maintain a very lean body, you're supposed to be on a diet the whole year. So that happened, and then I started sticking to a diet, and I started taking competitions, but not very regularly because it's not healthy for the body. So I started taking one or two competitions in a year. I was going to compete this July, but that show got postponed due to COVID.
Understood. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So no more cheese burst pizzas for you
Maybe like on a cheat meal.
on a cheat meal. So save that for the next time we see each other.
Absolutely.
Because Domino's was the place that I had in mind. We can definitely
I
indulge.
actually don't really enjoy pizzas here. I mean, they're not cheesy enough.
double
So
cheese,
maybe
triple
we could
cheese,
go
wala
to
kar
New
lenge.
York together, and then have a pizza there.
I would absolutely love to. I would absolutely love to. It's going to be a blissful walk down memory lane for me. I miss New York every single day, every single day, every day.
Right, right. I was
So
there for the New Year's just to make you jealous.
no way, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Alone, I know. I think your family in the States as well, right? Were you with family alone?
They were with me, but after, like, we did our New Year's together, but then I went to New York again alone.
Understood. Brilliant. Yeah. My sister's in the in New York, by the way,
Yeah, yeah,
and
I know. Yeah, yeah, right.
it's been quite some time since I've been back to the States. It's been nearly
Hmm.
2 years now. Nearly 2 years. July of
Oh,
11th
wow.
will be exactly 2 years since I got back from the States to India, and who knows?
Hmm.
Maybe I go back there one day. So we're broadcasting
You
this on
should.
Hello as well. And quite a few people on Hello saying hello to you. There's Deepuraj, Saini, Lakshmi, Meena, Neeraj Kumar, all of them conveying their regards to you. The one question that Ajay on Hello has for you is you talked about the stigma that's associated with doing a bikini competition in India, right?
Hmm.
You did your
Right.
first competition in the US because you were slightly
Hmm.
apprehensive about how you would be judged by, say, men and others while doing this in India. Can you walk
Right.
us through how you actually overcame that apprehension, and now how do you feel? Do you feel much more confident when you say participating in a bikini competition in India?
So I think it had a lot to do with me acing my first competition. I think if I would not have won it, I wouldn't have gained that confidence. That's number one. Secondly, when I won this competition, a lot of media wanted to cover me in India, but my dad has a very prestigious personality in Jammu and Kashmir. So I was still apprehensive of the media from Jammu and Kashmir covering
Makes
me,
sense. Makes sense.
because there's a
Yeah.
lot of politics and a lot of things, and I didn't want my father to face any of that because of me. But um, what happened was that my dad kind of supported me the most in this whole situation. So coming to anybody in the society trying to say anything about me, saying, this woman is wearing a bikini on the stage and this and that or whatever, that kind of completely, like, there was no question of anybody pointing that on me because my dad was with me. So that played a very, very major role. I think it's very important, uh, because the society is such that it's very, very important. If you're doing a bikini competition or something, it's very important for the parents to kind of support you. And it is just a competition. I mean, there are gymnasts who wear dresses which are again short, but coming to the apprehensions of how people would see me on stage, it kind of got away with my parents supporting me, and with me winning the first competition, it kind of really went away. So I stopped worrying about what the public is going to think about me if I'm on the stage.
Mhm.
And also, when you're on the stage, you just don't really hear anybody saying anything to you. You're in your own world. it's I mean, it's very addicting and it's very different. You are just in your own world when you're walking that stage. Also, because you've worked so hard on your body. I mean, it's not modeling. You're basically shredded. You have abs, you have everything on point, and it's a lot of dedication and discipline.
Right.
So, again, that was another point which kind of, I think I never really cared about the society ever since I was a child. But I did have this fear of people, shouting from the crowd, yelling, "Oh, a girl on in a bikini on the stage," and this and that.
Right.
And men are like that. Men still are like that in India. And whatever competitions I still see, and if I'm in the crowd, I still see men, shouting and yelling in a wrong way. But it doesn't really affect me because, again, my parents are with me, my family is supporting me, and I'm doing a good job. So it's fine, I think.
Yeah, you missed one person. I'm supporting you as well, always.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
By the way, lots of questions coming in on Facebook. I read out a question that came on Hello. So Priyam Saha asking a question that I was actually very curious to ask you as well. And she
Mhm.
says, what according to you is the perfect bikini body and how to achieve it? So the second part, which is similar that I have in mind that I wanted to ask you is that, look, you talked about how disciplined and how rigorous, right? The routine has to be when you're preparing for a competition, right? So talk to
Mhm.
me about what your routine is like in the build up to a competition, because there's lots of the methods that you actually deploy are very scientific as well in terms of like the carb cycling. You know exactly how much you
Right.
should be eating, right? You
Mhm.
you do carb cycling is something I talked about, but even when it comes to your exercise, right? You have to be completely on point, especially in the few days, like the 10 days or the 20 days leading up to a competition. So talk to us more about
Yeah.
what Priyam is saying. What according to you is the perfect bikini body, and how do you achieve it in the build up to a competition that's coming up?
Okay, so the bikini body, I mean, there are two ways to the bikini body. One is the model bikini body, which you would want to be on a beach, and then there's another bikini body which I have, which includes lean muscle. So girls wanting a bikini body is more about just being lean and skinny, and the bikini body which I have to achieve is about having lean muscle. So again, I mean, answering her question, I feel that she would have to go on a diet and on a very strict regime uh, of calculating what she's eating to achieve any form of bikini body, if it's lean muscle or if it's the other way around. So that's the main thing. I mean, more than the exercise, it's the diet. You really, really need to be very, very dedicated and disciplined when it comes to your diet. Coming to your question about how we go about it. So, yeah, I mean, I generally choose a competition at a time when it is not around any of my exams or entrances or any PhD work, because when you are doing a diet like that, it does take a toll on your mind, on your brain. Basically, your brain cells stop working because you're on a very, very, very strict diet, and you
Right.
need to really dedicate a lot of time in the gym. So when I have a competition coming up, I sometimes have 2 hours of just cardio and then 2 hours of weight training, and I think that's enough for me for the rest of the hours for me to be putting to sleep. So I mean, it's very, very difficult for you to be doing two things at a time. So for me to handle academics and fitness together during a competition is not easy.
Absolutely.
So I ensure that I have already finished and met all my deadlines, and that's how I plan my competitions. This the cardios are very strict, the diet is very strict. You are supposed to eat on a particular time. You just cannot mess it. And then I send my progress pictures to my coach who's in US, and then he would probably add cardio in my routine, or decrease it, or decrease my food, and he would just play around with different methods which he knows. And that's how it is. I mean, it is very, very difficult. Coming to how I do the last 20 days before my competition. So we play with the salt. So a lot of times, not just a lot of times, I mean, you are supposed to quit on salt on those last dates. And again, it depends on how shredded you are. Sometimes I might have to leave it for 10 days or 20 days or maybe just 5 days. So there's a lot of science going on in your body, and
Right.
it
Right.
is not very easy for you to manage it. You get very cranky, you get very moody, so you need the right kind of friends and supports around you. So I'm really blessed to have good friends and everybody around me, and my family and everybody, they support me. They support me in a way where they stop calling me 3 months before my competition, because they know that it's just not the right time. So that's how it goes. Yeah.
Brilliant, brilliant. And tell me what happens on the eve of the competition, or perhaps a couple of days before the competition, because of course, when you're not consuming any salt, right, then you end up
Yeah.
losing a lot of water weight, right? So you definitely
Yeah.
look a lot more shredded. But at the same time, when you're going up on stage, right, you want to have like a
Hmm.
fuller look on the day of the competition, like lean muscle, as you talked about, right?
Yeah.
So on the
Yeah.
eve of the competition, or perhaps a couple of days before the competition, do you actually end up eating at maintenance level in terms of calories, just so that you have a fuller look as well and you don't look too lanky on stage? Is that true?
Yeah. So when so on the last days, we basically play with the salt and the carb. So when I quit on my salt, my coach mm, gives me carbs which does not have any salt, but those carbs kind of give me a fuller look on the stage, and that's how everybody in bodybuilding does. So on those last 2 days, and especially on the eve of your competition, uh, you start having a lot of carbs which are again planned. It's not calorie wise, but it's gram wise. There are two ways. So you
Okay.
do a calorie game or you do a gram game. I do a gram game. I do not believe in counting my calories. So neither does my coach. So he puts me on carbs, which I kind of consume every 3 hours, 4 hours, depending on how my body is looking. And those carbs kind of, take away that extra water in your body, and you look fuller with your muscle. Your weight drops further because again the water is like gone with the carbs. So
Hmm.
that's how it is. So you are on a lot of carbs on the end, on the last day.
Great. Even I do a gram game, and when I say gram game, I do an Instagram game, but even that I suck at. So Nandini Garg asking, you talked a lot about diet, right? Nandini Garg
Yeah.
asking about exercise. So she's saying, what works better, the same form of exercise every day of the week, or a mix of multiple formats? Brilliant question, because there are multiple schools of thought. Some people say you have to make it a guessing game for the body. You have to mix and match. Only then the muscles get confused, and that promotes and catalyzes muscle growth. But a lot of people say you have to be doing the same set of workouts every single day. Only then can you actually track your progress, what your progress is like. So if I'm doing one exercise today and the same exercise 1 month from now, am I doing it much better 1 month from now? So that's like the micro progression school of exercise. So what's your take here? Maybe it's different for you, given the fact that your competition is might require certain different things. But what's it like for you?
Yeah, the competition is one thing, but again, I have clients. I have clients, so I train them in accordance to what they're trying to achieve. So I think I will be able to answer this question, but I would want a clarity. Is she saying that, I mean, what is she trying to say? That you are on different muscle exercises every day, or are you supposed to do all the muscles in a day? Is that what she's trying to ask?
I think what she means is, in case she has a set of exercises that she has planned, right? So say, let's just say 5 exercises as part of her workout, right? Should she
Okay.
have the same 5 exercises every single day, or should she mix and match and change it up every single day?
So if she is trying to focus on maintaining muscles, maintaining that muscle mass, so Nandini, you're supposed to go uh, with maybe two exercises together in a day. So you could probably do your shoulders and biceps on one day. You could do your so for legs, you kind of give 2 days to legs in a week. So on one day you can target on your glutes and maybe calves. The other day you can focus on your hamstrings and quads, something like that. So you mix and match when it comes to the leg days, and otherwise you're supposed to do maybe a shoulder day on just a shoulder day, then just a bicep day, or just a chest day, a back day. That's how we usually do it. But whenever any of my clients is looking at losing a lot of weight and is not worried about maintaining the muscle mass, I put them on HIIT workouts where I focus on playing with the BPM, and I ensure that it's like above 160, 170, depending on what weight that client has, and that's how we try to lose a lot of calories within an hour of workout. So there are two ways. If you want to really lose weight and not worried about your muscle mass, you can do HIITs every day, where you can again mix and match different exercises so that it doesn't get boring for you. And you can play. You can So HIIT is basically like a higher heart rate, right? So do that, or otherwise, again, just as I said, if you are trying to maintain your muscle mass, try to focus on like a single uh, body part a day.
Brilliant. And speaking of clients, I think you're training Astha Gill now, the famous
Oh yes,
Indian
it's been
singer.
a
I
while.
was taking a look at her Instagram, and she looks absolutely
Hmm.
fantastic. And the first thing that came to my mind when I saw some of her recent pictures was, "Ye to Supriya ka kamal hai." So talk to us more about that partnership that you have with Astha and a lot of other
Oh,
celebrities as well, I believe.
it's been a year. So she had a shoot coming up, Nagin Gin 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 Gin, it's a famous song. So she had a shoot coming up, and she really, I mean, she was worried. She had just 15 days, and a friend of mine introduced me to her, and that's how I started training her. And in 15 days, I think she really works hard with me. So in 15 days, we lost about 5 kilos at least.
Oh wow.
So she was 65, and then she was 60 for that song, and then um, that's how it was. And then she had another song coming up, and again, I ensured that she's maintained, because I was going to US again for 3 4 months. So I did my job well in advance. So another 5 kilos she lost, so about 10 kilos in 3 months. And she was good for like the next song as well when I was not in India. And then COVID and everything happened, and then her song shoot finished, and then she again started eating a lot. I was not there to keep a check on her. She has gained little weight, but I know, and she knows that she's like, she basically, the thing with her is that she's never worried when she's eating a lot. She's just eating a lot. She thinks ये सुप्रिया आएगी कोई पता नहीं जादू करेगी और मैं ठीक हो जाऊंगी 15 दिन में, but that's not how it works. It's a lot of effort. But I really like the confidence that she shows in me. And it's a brilliant partnership. I mean, she's like a sister to me. And then of course for work we are always traveling together, so I am with her 20 days in a month, traveling with her. And out of those 20 days there are shows where Badsha is with us, because she sings with Badsha as well. So there are a couple of days when there are shows for Badsha, there are a couple of days when there are shows for just her. So that's how we kind of keep moving around the country. And coming to other celebrities, so yeah, so whenever there are like common shows happening, I don't like I because I'm an exclusive trainer for her and I'm traveling with her, I cannot take a lot of other clients. I just take clients which are like around my house and everything personally.
Makes sense.
Otherwise there are people training online with me. But yeah, I mean, these other people, whenever they are like in town or something, they kind of train with me while I'm training Astha, so people kind of join in, celebrities. Yeah.
Brilliant. And she's not just a sister to you. I think she's a sister to me as well. We're BFF. She called me up before this chat that I was supposed to have with you, and she mentioned that Supriya has to be singing the new song Nagin Gin Gin. You gave us a teaser when you sang that. Can you sing the full thing?
Na gin 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 gin, because this song is all about gin 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 gin, so I can do this like for an hour. There's nothing else in this song, but it's a huge hit. I mean, I don't know
That
how,
was
but it is a huge hit. I think it's because it's a party song. But yeah, it's all about like gin 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 gin. So yeah,
beautiful. That was melody. That was music to my ears.
you
Lovely.
just made
You're
me a singer. I am a singer's coach, not a singer myself.
look. I'm not surprised. Given the multitude of talents that you have, handball, then bikini, then ranked first, academics, extracurriculars, everything. You're knocking everything out of the park. किसी मतलब औरों के लिए भी तो कुछ छोड़ो यार. मतलब let others conquer something. If you're conquering every single territory out there, what am I left with? The residues
You're left with hosting. You're so good at it.
with with hosted. Oh, thank you. That's a big
Oh, there
compliment
were a couple of
coming
times.
from you.
There were a couple of times when I was traveling with her, and then we were like just sitting somewhere, and there were a couple of other people from the singing industry. I was just singing like this, and they're like, "Aap seekhe hue ho?" I was like, "Wow! I mean, I have a chance in this field as well."
Maybe
So
give it a
yeah,
shot.
that happened.
Lovely. So a couple more questions that we have. Viewers who are watching, keep your questions coming. Brilliant questions. I can tell that Supriya is really enjoying herself answering these. Aishwarya Jayaraman, who's become a regular on our One Play Sports networks. I think she definitely deserves the One Play Sports MVP label. She's saying, what is the process of getting into these bodybuilding competitions? Do you need sponsors? Good question for people who might be interested in taking this up professionally.
So sponsors kind of jump in once you have won something. Nobody will sponsor you if you have not won anything. Also, sponsors don't give you any money to be competing. They don't give you any money to be investing into the chicken that you're supposed to eat every day. It is more about how they provide you with, with the stack, the protein and everything. And then you have other sponsors like, with somebody with gym equipment. So it again depends on how famous you are on your Instagram and your other social media channels. So also about how your aura is. So if I'm going in some fitness expo, there would be a couple of people coming to me and saying that, hey, I have this gym equipment facility and everything, and I run this company. Would you want to join me? And that's how you start joining companies. And then uh, it completely depends on you and that organization about how you want to go about it. You want to do a barter, or you want to charge something from them, and that's how sponsors kind of jump in. Coming to the competitions, you really need to hire a good coach. I train people. You can always join me if you want to do it. I can guide you well. But yeah, you need a coach, and there's no process. You kind of get ready for a show. You choose a show. There are different shows going on around the world under the International Federation for Bodybuilding. There's also an Indian Bodybuilding Federation. IBBF is the Indian bodybuilding, and IFBB is the International Bodybuilding.
Mhm.
So there are two ways in which you can do it. You can join one of those two. You cannot do both together. You have to choose one of these. So choose that and just see when you have shows, get ready for it, and register and participate. It's that simple.
Brilliant. So how do you juggle everything? Because I believe you're also writing a book, or perhaps contributing to a book right now. So you have lots going on in your life, right? So how do you juggle everything? Do you have a manager who's taking care of all your commercial commitments, taking care of all your relationships with brands, sponsors, or are you doing everything by yourself?
I like to do everything by myself. I
Okay.
am very choosy about the things about the organizations that I work with, and I like to do things on my own. I don't like depending on anybody, but maybe later, when there's more work coming in, I would probably want a manager. When it comes to hiring a manager, he or she really needs to be good, because there's this whole person who's kind of running you. So uh, it's a difficult task. But yeah, I mean, coming to me, writing this chapter, I'm writing for a book. So my thesis, the work that I'm doing on Chinese foreign policy is about how sports plays a role in building good relations. So the soft power of a country. So sport is like a soft power of the country. There's no military or
Right.
anything, no
Right.
hard power
Mhm.
involved. So I am focusing on how sports has played uh, a good role uh, in China's relations with other countries. So now the COVID-19 happened and everything. So the government has requested a book where a lot of us are contributing, and I am writing on how the sports has been impacted because of COVID-19. So that's my chapter. I am still working on it. It should finish this week. And apart from that, again, training at home, not very regular with it. I think, again, COVID has a psychological impact on everybody, including me. I'm trying to stick to workouts and everything, but it's like on a lower side. So my focus is more on the academics for this period.
Makes sense. You know what academics reminds me of. So now I remember. I'm not sure if you remember this. When I had come to visit your apartment, right? When I was searching for
Mhm.
apartments after my move to Delhi, I remember you were studying some Chinese. You were telling me that you had some exam that was
I
coming
was
up, and you were actually very busy studying
Yeah.
Chinese. Now I remember that.
Yeah, because that was like my coursework. I was supposed to do Chinese in 2 semesters, and I thankfully passed. But I don't remember anything about it now, like
Ni hao
nothing,
ma.
because it's so difficult. Yeah. Okay.
Look,
Yeah. So
I
it's
took
like
two I
it's a
took two
very difficult
classes. I
language.
took two classes of Chinese as well when I was in college, but I don't remember anything. The only two things that I remember are ni hao ma, right, and nisha yo
Mangma.
yindu ren. Nisha yo yindu ren.
That's your name.
No,
Are you
are
trying
you
to ask my
Indian?
name?
Are you Indian? Nija yo yindu ren, right? Something
Nisha
along those
Thang.
lines.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Something like
Something.
this. Yeah.
I
Okay.
completely
But
butchered it,
again,
but
there are there are so many characters in Chinese that whatever my work was, whatever I was learning was, so I was learning characters which were useful in like political terms, because my studies is politics. So I was learning characters
makes
like
sense.
maybe foreign policy, or what is politics, or how do you say China, how do you say world, and things like that. For you,
So
maybe it was
was
more
it
about
traditional
like
or was it
social
simplified Chinese?
conversation.
Was that traditional or
It
simplified
was
Chinese that you
simplified. No,
simplified
we
Chinese?
don't really do traditional. Yeah, it was
Understood.
simplified.
Understood.
But I will
But
have to. I will have to do a course where I will have to learn Chinese, because everything when I research, all my work is in Chinese. So like for me to like look at articles to find something, everything that China releases is in Chinese. So for me to like continue doing a good job with my PhD, I will have to learn the language eventually, because it's very difficult to copy paste and turn it into English, and then it still doesn't make any sense. So it's very, very important for a Chinese foreign policy scholar to learn Chinese. So I will eventually do that as well.
right, right. I'm honestly very
If
glad to
COVID
see
would
that.
not have happened, I think I was going to go to China for a year for sure.
Oh wow,
This year,
wow.
maybe.
So as an
Yeah,
exchange student, I'm guessing, right?
something like that. Yeah. Again,
Something
just
like
one seat.
one second. Brilliant. Akanksha Joshi asking us a question. She says, "What has been the most endearing compliment you have ever received?" Now, look, I've dished out lots of compliments to you on this show. Hopefully, you end up picking one, but you're free to pick something outside of this conversation as well.
Endearing compliment in what sense? Like
As in the
in
best
in the
compliment you've
sense of how
received,
pretty I am, or in the sense of my body, my game, my studies?
and anything. What means the
Because
most to you in terms of how pretty you are? That goes without saying. But this could be anything.
I just can't remember anything.
You don't have
I
to be
just
that
can't
humble.
remember any compliment. No,
I'm
really.
giving you the license to brag right now.
I think overall, I mean, there are people who are kind of appreciating how I am doing the bodybuilding and how I'm into fitness and
Or this
everything
this could
again
also be
on
from
my
one of your
Instagram.
this could also be from one of your clients. In case you had like a big impact upon any of your clients, this could be something from them as well.
So I think it's like it's very it's like a daily basis thing. I mean, if some client is getting results, he would say, "Hey, I've lost 2 kilos. I'm very thankful to you," or something like that. So it's like a daily basis thing, and that kind of really encourages me, because I mean, I'm happy to be delivering results to people. And coming to, yeah, just how I was saying on Instagram, like even in the COVID times and everything, I'm generally every 1 or 2 days I do talk about something which encourages people. I would just give some moral lesson to them, something, and people really appreciate it. They like listening to what I say, and I would probably sometimes just give some fitness tip. uh, and I'm really active on my Instagram when it comes to stories, so it's good for people to they look forward to what I have to say, and it really encourages them and everything. And I'm also sweet enough to reply back to everybody, because your inbox does get flooded when you're a woman and into fitness. So I have never shied away or behaved in a way where I am not replying to people or acting very pricey, and I think that's something which I am proud about.
I'm sure lots of people sliding into your DMs. Apart from Instagram, which other platforms are you active on? I know you have a Facebook page as well, right? It's called Miracle Fitness. So talk to us about your Facebook page. You've got a YouTube channel as well that you started recently, where you talk about your biggest passion, fitness. So talk to us about the other platforms that you're visible on.
So, apart from Instagram, I opened my Facebook. This was again in 2018. I thought that, I have won a competition. I would want to start taking clients now and things like that. So, I opened a page called Miracle Fitness. Uh, but I never really paid a lot of attention to it. So, it's something which, I just keep posting something or the other, but I would want the name to be changed back to, because it's Supriya on Instagram. And I would want all my pages to be it's Supriya, because that's how people recognize me now. So I am trying to work a way where I can change my name on my Facebook page. It's kind of not working out. So I'm not very active on my Facebook. I joined TikTok as well, and in maybe 3 months I got to 42,000 followers.
Oh, wow.
And I keep posting a couple of videos there, fitness and everything. And TikTok is like pretty fast when it comes to gaining followers and people seeing you. So, and then came YouTube. I started it last year June. I did 2 videos. I was in US. I did 2 videos from US, but then when I came back, I had so many other things running. I
Mhm.
had my academics to see. I had a competition coming, and then I kind of suddenly got a lot of clients. Astha Gill joined me. I started traveling with her, so I could not pay too much attention to my YouTube as well. But as soon as I, get a little time, I would want to start running it back up. It is, again, it is, I don't run it because, again, I don't look at it professionally. I look at it, but I would just want to help people with whatever I know. So it's a little slow there as well. So
Makes sense. Makes
Instagram is
sense.
like the main place to approach me.
Absolutely. When I was looking up your Instagram, so I followed you for the first time
Yeah,
today, and up until now, I was thinking,
yeah.
it's a travesty that I started following you now. I wish I'd started following you earlier, but I'll definitely, keep in touch with your progress and keep in touch with you as well on Instagram. You talked about how pretty you are. I think you won a regional beauty pageant as well. When did this happen? Was it recently? And which region are we talking about when you say regional?
I think this was 2018. This was in Delhi, and the gym that I used to go to. These guys were sponsoring a pageant show, and they wanted somebody to represent that gym. That's how I kind of entered into doing a pageant. It was my first, and then I'm a muscular girl. I'm not a lean girl who could do a ramp. But yeah, I think I was the second runner-up, and it was my first show. The good thing was, again, that they kind of liked whatever questions they asked. I answered them pretty well. And also, I was not like 18, 19. The other girls were like 18, 19 years old who were professionally doing pageants. I was just there to have fun. But it was a good experience, very different. And I felt like I was like a Barbie doll for like at least a week. I was like, oh, I'm a Barbie doll. I would want to do this now. Let me just lose all my muscle and get into this. Wow, walking the ramp, looking so gorgeous and everything. So yeah, I got into those feelings, very girly and everything, because I'm not. I'm like into bikes, riding bikes, this and that, doing everything that very very tomboyish since my childhood. But yeah, that one week was very Barbie dollish.
Talking about
Yeah.
answering questions well, I think you've been absolutely on point and spot on with all your answers in this
Thank
Q&A that
you.
we've had. I have a couple of more questions left. So one of them being, what does the future look like? Now, look, I don't mean this as a joke, right? It is very clear that you're a multifaceted individual. You have multiple skills, right? But bodybuilding, taking part in competitions all over the world, that probably remains your biggest passion, right? Fitness remains your biggest passion. So what do you want to conquer
Mhm.
and continue achieving on the fitness front? Are there other avenues that you want to pivot to? Because of course you have like very strong academic credentials as well, right? Is there something that you want to do in the foreign policy space? What does what do your future plans look like?
So I am a very go with the flow kind of a person. I have
Yeah.
So when it comes to bodybuilding, I was never aiming to become famous. I was never aiming to train celebrities. I was never aiming to to win competitions or anything like that. But again, I was so passionate about it that I kept doing it, and opportunities kept coming to me. I was doing it with like a very pure heart, and I think it really works. I mean, I feel that whatever positive energy you put into anything, it definitely gives you results. So that's how fitness happened, and going with the flow is something that I still stick to. But I do have a couple of plans. One being launching something of my own, like an e-business kind of a thing. So I am going to look at angel investments and everything, but this comes after. So I am finishing my pre-PhD in December, and I will start working on this plan after that. That's one. Coming to academics, my parents kind of really say this to me a lot as well, that stick to something. What do you want? Because academics is going to give me a stable income.
Yeah.
It's going to be a proper 9 to 5, or maybe like a proper, I'll become professor, I'll go take a lecture. I know that 2-3 lakhs are going to come into my account every month. But when it comes to fitness, and especially in India, clients don't really stick to you in a way that they would just want to lose their weight, and then they kind of that's it, they lose weight, and then they would want to eat again, and they would probably just come back to you maybe after 6 months or something. But there is no fitness culture as such in India where people would want to train every day. They would want to train with you just till the time they want to lose their weight. So it's not something which, so I am not stable when it comes to me earning that money. Some months would be very good, some months won't be that great. So that's like a disadvantage of being in fitness. But again, I mean, uh, when people start knowing you, two go, three come,
Yeah.
some will leave, some will join you. But again, it's not something which is very stable. Some months would be very good. Again, just as I said, some won't. So I would want to keep trying into this. Into fitness. I have, like, just as I said, a couple of plans to launch things on, like, on in digital media and everything, like market something fitness. If that works out, great. I would want to stick to it. If it doesn't, I can always fall back to academics. Since I'm working on sports, I have opportunities to join Olympic Association. I have opportunities to join World Bank. I have opportunities to join the Asian Development Bank. So uh, I have humongous opportunities in, like, both both these fields. But I keep sticking to fitness, and that's because I am, like, really really passionate about it. So if something works
Absolutely.
out from fitness, I would want to do that, because I think one should be focusing and living a life of no regrets. And if my passion lies in fitness, why not?
Fantastic. I love the attitude. I love your confidence as well. I admire your confidence a lot. You look great on camera. You speak really well. Who knows? We can be co-presenters, co-hosts one day.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Bri- Brilliant, Supriya. Look, I certainly
I
enjoyed.
do write
Yeah.
as I do write as a journalist as well. So there's a platform where you contribute articles, and then they send it to different media portals, whoever wants it. So that's another thing which I've been doing for a while. So, like, I've been doing that since, like, 2013, I think. So I am on that side as well, and then I speak well. Maybe One Play Sports could hire me.
Maybe look, I'll speak with my boss, and as I mentioned, I think it'll be beautiful if we can be co-host together. It'll be quite the turn of
Absolutely.
events. It'll be fascinating. Look, but I definitely enjoyed this conversation a lot. Fascinating conversation, fascinating journey
Me
that you
too.
had,
Thank you.
fascinating story that you have. I In many ways, I love your candor as well. That was very evident throughout the conversation, and I love the fact that whatever you say, right, is backed by things that you've actually shown to the world, right? You practice what you preach, and you don't just say things, but you actually walk the talk as well. You do as you say. So brilliant having you on a One Play Sports Network. So yeah,
Thank
hopefully,
you.
this is the
Thank you
first
so
of
much.
many more conversations on a One Play Sports Networks with you.
Absolutely. Anytime. I'd be happy to join.
Great, lovely, Supriya. Thank you so much for all the viewers.
Thank you so much, Anubhav.
Lovely. Thank you so much to all the viewers as well who joined us for this brilliant broadcast of Fitness Fanatics with Supriya Sharma. Hopefully, you enjoyed the conversation. If you did, please consider subscribing to all our platforms. We're broadcasting this on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on Hello, and TikTok as well. So follow Supriya on the social media handles that she mentioned. It's Supriya is her Instagram, and follow the One Play Sports accounts that I mentioned as well. Thanks again for having joined us for this cracking episode that we had, and stay tuned for more live action over the course of this entire week. Until next time, stay safe, have a good evening, and cheers.